Take a little trip with me and hopefully you can see how the hood, suburbs, and Main Street are all connected. Enough respect, I mean, we network across the globe cause it's a global market in case you didn't know. And since we all about information flow, let me be the first one to welcome you to Tech Zone with whole Amadeus Lane. Let's talk tech cause technology changing the game. It's all good in the hood, it's everywhere. Now let's get to the show cause we live on air, yeah.
Welcome to this edition of the Tech Zone. Hello, I am Paul Amadeus Lane, and I am so happy to have you with me today on the show. We got some great guests joining us talking about some truly amazing things. What about food journaling? You ever went to a dietitian or your doctor who tells you, I need for you to journal. I want to know what you're eating. And we're like, do I really have to write it down? Do I have to do this? Well, what are some other ways out there that we can journal that may not be as painstaking as we make it out to be? Well, there is technology that can help us out with that. And we're going to talk to someone about that later on in the show. We're also going to touch on the subject of insurance. We know that open enrollment time is now. And trying to navigate through all the minutia of which insurance company to go with, what can really fit the needs of me and my family. Those are questions that we all have. But wouldn't it be nice if there is an innovation out there, an app that can help us to find out things a lot quicker than reading that big, thick old book that insurance companies give us to look over our employers, give us to look at? We're the employee. Yeah. And on our last segment of the show, we are chasing a social media giant. And I do not want to give it away, but you don't want to miss that coming up in our third segment of the show. Eating right and eating healthy. I don't know if you ever went to a dietitian or a nutritionist or a doctor, and they give you some things to do to get healthy. And then you're like, okay, I'm cool with that. I can get down with that. But then they say, but what I would like for you to do is do some journaling. And you're like, wow, I've been out of school for so long. Now I got to do some homework. Do I really, really want to do that? Well, the answer is you have to, because it teaches you discipline. And joining me right now to give us some tips on journaling and also some other great things she's out there doing, we're talking about the founder of the Pure Barre, Miss Veronica Bosgraaf. She's an author. She is a motivational speaker. She's a fitness enthusiast. She's a beautiful mom as well, too. And joining me right now, I haven't seen her in a while. Veronica, how you doing, my friend?
Hi, great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
It is awesome having you back, my dear. What have you been up to?
Just busy, running a company, being a mom. Got one in college now. I mean, it's they're all back in school, running around. It's pretty crazy, but it's good. I wouldn't have it any other way.
And Veronica, I like how cool and calm you said that, oh, nothing, being a mom, because just being one of those things is a full-time job, and you're taking on multiple, and that's why I think you're so inspirational out there to women, even men, when it comes to just doing things and doing it well, and hats off to you, my friend.
Thank you. There's never a dull moment, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Hey, so give us some tips on journaling, Veronica. What are some things that we can do?
Well, first of all, journaling doesn't seem like a big deal, but it actually is a really, really powerful tool, not only for weight loss, but I think to really understand yourself and kind of what's going on in your head when it comes to eating and when it comes to food. And so we know that is probably why, the doctors and the nutritionists and everybody says to journal, because we know that it's very, very effective. Lots and lots of studies show that it's super effective for weight loss. So, when you think about it that way, it may not seem like such a daunting task, but it is important because you really get to understand what your food triggers are. Some foods trigger emotional responses, and some foods trigger more eating and other. So I think that, I just want to reiterate the importance of it. If you can have the discipline to do it, definitely is something that will help you on, not just a weight loss journey, but a healthy eating journey. But luckily, since we live in the age of technology, there are lots of options to make it easier for us to food journal.
And I'm glad you said that, Veronica, because some of us who've been out of school for a while, when we didn't have to do homework anymore, we were like, oh, awesome. But then when we went to college and everything, we realized we still had to do it. But I'm glad you said that, Veronica, because before we talk about the technology things that can help us out, you touched on a very good subject. Sometimes we get stuck in our weight loss journey, whether if it's to lose weight or just get healthy or feeling a certain way. And when we journal certain things, it helps us to see what may be causing us not to feel better than we should. Is that true?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, it's really, really enlightening. And I tell people to write down, don't just write down the foods that you eat, but write down the emotions that you feel, when you're eating them. And write down things like, if I had a personal chef, I would have him or her create me blank right now because that's what I really want to eat. Or, if I could eat anything for breakfast, this is what I would eat. And I find that a lot of times people would actually choose healthy, real food if they could, if it was easy and convenient, because they know that's what's best for them. And there are healthy foods out there that people love and enjoy to eat. But a lot of our, I think, eating dysfunction is because we don't take the time or don't have the time to, really search out and prepare the meals that we know we're going to love and that are going to be great for our bodies.
And Veronica, when we look at different triggers, like you kind of talked about, when we eat we're emotional eaters. I know I am. It's like when I'm having a great day, I'm on top of the world. I'm like, hey, let's do this. I make wiser decisions. But when I'm having kind of like an emotionally down day, if I don't, do the exercise, if I don't eat a certain way, it kind of just throws me off my game. And it's always good, like if you journal certain things, you can follow your diet and you can say, okay, this day I had this. Maybe that could be a trigger. Maybe it's a preservative that I'm eating. Maybe it's this. Maybe I'm that. So it's kind of like doing some, I want to say, reconnaissance on yourself to see what's going on in your body.
Yeah, there is, you bring up a really good point. There's a huge connection between what we eat and how we feel emotionally. And a lot of that is even chemical. Certain ingredients can trigger certain chemicals being released. It's different for different people, and that can make us feel one way or another. The mind-body connection is really, really strong. And, so to be able to understand what foods may contribute to you feeling what ways, as well as the opposite, how you feel influencing what you eat, those are really important things to wrap your head around, when you're trying to think about a holistic view of just becoming a healthier person. And, I tell people that, it's not about like taking the whole bottle of pills right at the same time. It's small steps and trying to do, one or two things better each day. Because what I've found and what I've seen over and over again is when people start to eat the healthy foods that they enjoy, even if it's just once or twice a day or, making a substitution, your body starts to crave different foods. If you're eating ice cream and potato chips and cookies those are the foods your body's going to crave. If you're starting to eat, more avocados and ripe peaches and, foods like indulgent, healthy foods like that, your body will almost take you along on the journey, and you'll sit there and one night you'll be like, you know what, I'm just not craving ice cream tonight. I would rather cut up this peach I got at the farmer's market, and that's going to satisfy me, or whatever it is for you. But I feel like your body works with you if you just kind of start down that path.
It kind of reminds me of a song where it was R. Kelly back in the days. It was called "Your Body's Calling," and I take that in a personal sense. It's like our bodies are calling out, saying, "Don't eat this, don't eat that," because you're putting all this junk in there, and that's why you feel that way. So Veronica, I'm so happy that you share that with us. Now, being in the technological age now, where we have become cell phone dependent, tablet dependent, what are some things that we can do that can help us out? Journaling, make it a little bit easier so that we can make sure we get it done.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you don't want to go through all the, technology of downloading apps and all that, sometimes, I've seen people just use the note function on their phone, which is an easy way to just record what you're eating and how you're feeling. But there are some really great apps, and of course they just keep getting better and better with technology getting better. Like MyFitnessPal is a high-rated app that helps you kind of track your eating as well as your fitness. Fit Day Mobile is another one that I've heard a lot of good things about. And it depends kind of what your goals are, because some of them are more diet and weight loss focused, and some of them are more exercise focused, and some of them even tie in kind of the emotional component. So I would encourage people to explore what's out there and read the reviews and customize it to what works for you. And I think it's a great help. It makes it easier. It doesn't seem so much like homework. It makes it a little more fun.
You know what, Veronica? I think a lot of people are going to listen to you because they won't listen to me because I'm a big, burly, funny-looking guy. But for a beautiful woman like you, they're going to say, "Oh, Veronica said it. I'm going to do it." So listen to Veronica because she's smart and she's a fitness enthusiast. And just the things that she has done over the years have been amazing, and I've been blessed to know her. And she's helped me out on my journey in many occasions, just being there and joining me on the air and talking about certain things. And Veronica, I would be a neglectful journalist if I had you on the show and didn't ask you about some of the fall things that we can eat on that are so delicious during this time. It'll be a dereliction of duty. I think I said that right. Yeah, I would be negligent. What are some things out there we can look forward to in this fall?
Well, fall is great because it's harvest season, especially here in Michigan where I live. And so the farmers markets just are packed with really great fresh local food. My cookbook, Pure Food, I organize all my recipes into seasons. So some of my favorite parts of the book are the September, October, November cookbook sections, because it really does, I created recipes with seasonal fruits and vegetables in there. And so, pastas that are indulgent. I have a pumpkin pasta and a stuffed walnut stuffed squash, and just some great foods that are kind of comfort foods, but also made with healthy, whole, real ingredients. And our latest newsletter actually has one of my favorite indulgent yet good for you recipes, which if you go to the pureorganic.com website and you search no bake cookies in the little search bar, the recipe will come right up, and it's wonderful chocolate chip light cookies made with dates and almonds and walnuts and cashews and cacao nibs. And my kids love them, and it's all healthy, real food. So food needs to taste good. I won't eat something if it doesn't taste good. So just finding those healthy, real foods that work for you That's what it's all about.
Veronica, when it comes to eating right and journaling, do we still have to journal, you think, even when we're eating right and healthy foods?
Yeah, I mean, you can if it helps you, again, understand kind of how food affects your body and food affects your mood. I think that journaling is always helpful. Even if you're not looking for weight loss, like we were saying before, it still helps you just understand a little bit more about yourself. It's like having a kind of intimate conversation with yourself. And I think it's always good to kind of get to know what you do and why you do it a little bit better.
Veronica, we last time we had you on the show, that's when the merger happened with Kashi, and we were so delighted to have you on to definitely talk about it. Now, how can our listeners and viewers out there still get some of those great Pure bars? Can they still do it the same way from the website?
Yeah, the website is pureorganic.com, and we do have a web store on there where you can buy all of our products. We're also sold through Amazon.com, and at a lot of natural food retailers, Whole Foods, Sprouts, Safeway, some conventional retailers. So if you can't find it in your store, ask for it because they can get it in for you. Otherwise, if you prefer to order it online, look to our website.
And do me a favor out there, you guys who are listening, when you guys get a Pure Bar, do me a favor, tweet it to Veronica, Snapchat it to her. She loves to see ones enjoying the food. And Veronica, the best way for ones to connect via social media is it to go to the website and there's one hub there?
Yes, we've got all of our social media icons on the website. You can get us to, you can get to Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram through the website pureorganic.com.
Well, Veronica, it has been an awesome privilege talking to you again. I've missed you, my friend. I know you've been busy in the summertime and everything. Congratulations on getting your daughter to college. And that's the same daughter that kind of got you to come up with the idea of the Pure Bar, correct?
Yes, it is. Yep. She's growing and thriving, and it's amazing to see.
That's awesome. So, my friend, we look forward to chatting with you next time and catching up with you, okay?
Thank you. It's been great. Thanks for having me. Oh, it's always a pleasure.
Great to have you on, my dear. We'll talk to you next time, okay?
Okay. Thanks, Paul.
I'd like to thank again the beautiful Veronica Bosgraaf. I'm telling you, she makes me look smarter every time I have her on the show. Thank you, Veronica. She gave us some good food for thought when it comes to journaling. So let's get the journaling gum. If you don't want the app, get the notepad, speak it, do whatever you want, write it out. Find out what food does to you. Remember, your body's calling. Make sure you listen to it when it comes to food. When we get back, we're going to talk about insurance, open enrollment. Is there an innovation out there that can help us out to find out which plan is right for us and our families? We'll find out coming back on the Tech Zone. Be back in 2 and 2.